Telangana politics is at a turning point. For over a decade, one family K. Chandrasekhar Rao and Kavitha and Ter ruled the stage. Ter as the polished face, Kavitha as the cultural voice, and KCR as the supreme leader. But today, that carefully built image is cracking. Kalvakantla Kavitha, once projected as the pride of Telangana women, has become a symbol of controversy from losing elections to spending months in jail to being pushed out of her own party, even if it means sacrificing its own blood. This is not just a story of one politician's fall. It is about how a dynasty protects its chosen heir. You would think a family sticking together would be a given, but in the case of the K family, it wasn't. Let me introduce you to K. Tarakarama Rao, better known as Kter. He's the son of KCR and the cynosure of Telangana's political establishment. But what about Kavitha? She's also the daughter of KCR, younger than Kter, and for a long time she was seen as the B team of Kter. If KCR is the father, then Kter is the favorite son. In 2014, when Telangana was on the verge of statehood, KCR sent Kavitha to Delhi to mobilize support in favor of Telangana, and she did a decent job. A few years later, Kavitha became a member of parliament. In 2018, she won the Nizamabad Lok Sabha seat. That was her last electoral victory. Since then, it's been a string of defeats for her. In 2019, she lost the assembly. By polls from Huzurabad in 2020, she lost the GMCHE elections. In 2022, she lost again. This time it was the Munigod by poll, and last year she spent 4 months in jail in connection with the Delhi liquor case. Her elder brother Kter was also arrested in this case, but he was released on bail much before Kavitha. Now all of this could have been ignored, brushed under the carpet had she not embarrassed the family in the most public way possible. Last month, she was expelled from the party, the TRS, now known as BRS. The reason given, anti-party activities. Why was she kept out of the election campaigning? Why were her public meetings stopped? Why were her own party leaders distancing themselves from her? The BRS has announced its first list of candidates for the assembly elections, and guess which prominent leader is missing from the list? That's right, K. Kavitha, the daughter who lost her elections, the daughter who spent months in jail, the daughter who was once the face of Telangana's women's empowerment. This is not just a case of an angry father, a line that no member of his family or his party was willing to cross. What was that line? Well, that's something only Kavitha and her family know. The favorite son gets to inherit the family business, the legacy of KCR. The not-so-favorite daughter gets nothing but a public humiliation. So this is the story of two siblings, two politicians Kter and Kavitha of the same parents, and their divergent destinies. Scene 2. Kavitha's political story began not in the assembly, but on the streets of the Telangana movement. Says the founder of Telangana Jagruti, she built her base not with power, but with culture. He organized Bathakama celebrations, student meetings, awareness programs, all of which were centered around Telangana identity. This made her popular, especially among the youth and women, and in the process, she was able to create a separate space for herself. She was no longer just KCR's daughter. She was a leader in her own right, someone who could connect with people through language, culture, and emotion. When Telangana state was finally achieved in 2014, it was natural that she entered electoral politics. She contested from Nizamabad and won, becoming a member of parliament. At that time, the family's straw hile Kavitha would be the cultural and grassroots voice. Tigi was clear. Kter would be the face of development and technology. For a brief moment, it looked like both children of KCR would carry forward the dynasty in different ways. But politics has no guarantees. Scene 3. In 2019, Kavitha faced her first big test, re-election in Nizamabad. Hundreds of turmeric and red sorghum farmers, frustrated with the government's neglect, contested as independents to send a message. The BJP saw its chance and put forward Dharmapuri Arvind. The result shocked Telangana. Kavitha, the sitting MP and daughter of the CM, lost. For the KCR family, it was a humiliating defeat. This was more than just losing a seat. It showed that the people were ready to challenge the dynasty when promises were broken. It showed that the KCR brand alone was no longer enough. For Kavitha personally, it was the first sign that her political journey would not be as smooth as the family had hoped. Kavitha's brother and CM KCR's younger son, KT Ramas, he is popularly known, is addressing his party workers. He is angry. A row takes the stage. The year is 2023. Kter, the recent by-election. Results have dented the party's image, and he is determined to win back the lost ground. But how? By embracing his Kavitha's defeat and promising to work harder. Scene 4. But the real fall came in 2024. With the Delhi liquor policy scam, central agencies alleged that Kavitha was part of a powerful network of politicians, businessmen, and middlemen who manipulated Delhi's excise policy for massive kickbacks. According to the charges, Kavitha was not just a bystander, she was an active participant. In March 2024, the Enforcement Directorate arrested her. The image of KCR's daughter being taken into custody was a political earthquake. Telangana's ruling family, once untouchable, now looked vulnerable. She spent nearly 5 months in jail. For her supporters, it was proof of BJP's vendetta against opposition leaders. When the Supreme Court finally granted her bail in August 2024, Kavitha walked free, but her image outside prison was worse than inside. Because today, Kavitha is trying to rebuild that image. To many, she was no longer a cultural leader of Telangana. She was the face of scandal. She's back in the cultural field, sort of. Ever since her return from jail, Kavitha has been trying to shed the scandal of the Delhi excise scam. She inaugurated a tribal museum in Warangal. She attended the Bathakama festival in Medak district. She even performed at a cultural event in Nalgonda. All these events were aimed at one thing: to clean up her public image. Clearly, the strategy is working to some extent because today, Kavitha is being welcomed at cultural events. But will it help her politically? That's a question that only time can answer. What do you think? Will Kter's daughter survive the scandal? Or is this the end of Kavitha? Scene 5. After her release, Kavitha knew she had to fight for survival. So she launched singer Jagruti, a new outfit claiming to stand with coal mine workers. She began speaking loudly about BC reservations, demanding 42% in local body polls. She also talked about women empowerment and helping the poor. Basically, she tried to paint herself as a champion of the downtrodden, someone who could be their voice in the government. She organized meetings, rallies, anything to get the public's attention, but the response was weak. The crowds were smaller, the enthusiasm was missing, there was no longer the same passion for her words. For ordinary people, her attempts looked less like leadership and more like damage control. Every slogan, every press meet carried the shadow of the liquor scam. Her credibility was broken and rebuilding it was proving impossible. The BRS leaders, once her biggest supporters, were nowhere to be seen. Even her own party workers kept a safe distance. They knew the leader's fall from grace was complete. KCR couldn't offer her any solid support because he was busy with his own problems. In this corner, the leader of the opposition, unable to connect with his own people, was reduced to leading token protests. Against the government, Telangana Jagruti was a brainchild of KCR. He formed it in 2014, just before the state's first elections. Back then, it was all about separate Telangana. Now it's 2023 and the goalposts have moved. Telangana Jagruti 2.0 is all about damage control. Can the party afford this distraction? At a time like this, can they afford to be without their top leader? The answer is no, but what choice do they have? Kavitha may have agreed to step down, but she certainly hasn't mellowed down, and this attitude is making things difficult for the party. Her recent comments on BC reservations are a case in point. By talking about 42% reservation, she has reopened a sensitive debate. The backlash is already starting. Certain sections are calling her anti-reservation, so the damage done by Kavitha extends beyond her own self. Her statements are now hurting the party's prospects in the crucial Telangana polls, and the fact is the BRS cannot afford to lose this election. A win here will ensure a hat-trick for the party. It will also make KCR's son the heir apparent. A loss, on the other hand, could end the BRS's dominance in Telangana. Plus, it will also raise questions about KCR's political skills. So the stakes are high for the BRS. Their biggest challenge, however, remains the same: how to win without the leader. Scene 6. The real shock came when Kavitha resigned from the Baratrashtra Amity. She accused party seniors of sidelining her and hinted that her own brother Kter was behind the move. For years, the KCR family projected an image of unity, but now the cracks were visible and at the center of it all was silence. KCR's silence was not weakness, it was strategy. Insiders say KCR has already made his choice. Kter is the successor. He is the clean face, the investment magnate. The future of BRS. Kavitha, with her scandals, had to be sacrificed. This is dynasty politics in its rawest form: protect the heir, dump the damaged. For the first time, Telangana voters saw that the family was not one. It was divided, and the father himself was clearing the path for the son. Scene 7: The BRS is buried under scandals. The failed Kaleshwaram project, land frauds, Go controversies, the phone tapping case, and of course, Kavitha's liquor scam. But look carefully at how the narrative is managed. Whenever a scam makes headlines, within hours, Tur is front and center inaugurating an IT tower, addressing an investor meet, posting tweets about Hyderabad's future. KCR is betting that people will forget the scandals if they are distracted by Tur's clean and modern image. Critics call it whitewashing. They argue that Tur is just the polished face of the same dynasty that looted Telangana. Supporters insist it is smart politics: protect the party by protecting its future leader. But for the people, the question is simple: can development stories erase the stench of corruption? Scene 8. Number 1. Reconciliation. KCR may quietly bring Kavitha back into the party, perhaps in a less visible role, while letting Tur shine as the main face. Option number 2. Rebellion. Kavitha could float her own front or even join hands with opposition parties. She could project herself as a victim betrayed not just by Delhi, but by her own family. That sympathy could be powerful, especially if BRS continues to weaken. And option number 3, silence. Kavitha may fade out slowly, remembered only as the fallen daughter, while Tur consolidates power as the uncontested heir. Telangana has seen this story before, from the Nitr family wars in Andhra to dynastic splits in Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Power battles inside families often change entire states. Kavitha may yet play that role in Telangana, either as the spark that splits the dynasty or as the sacrifice that secures Turi's throne. Scene 9. KCR's silence today is not just silence, it is calculation. By letting Kavitha take the blame, he shields Tur. By avoiding talk of scams, he buys time. But the people of Telangana and Andhra have seen this before. They know when a family is protecting its own power instead of protecting the state. In the next election, it won't just be seats on the line, it will be the future of a dynasty. Will Tur be accepted as the clean, modern face? Will Kavitha stage a comeback as the betrayed daughter? Or will the people reject the entire family as just another corrupt empire? One thing is certain: the KCR dynasty will never again be what it once was. He's always been the face of the party. KCR has played it safe. Now he's conveniently keeping a low profile while his son takes the heat. You can also see it in the way Kavitha is conducting herself. She knows the game is up. She's on the back foot and she's playing the victim. But it's too late. The people of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh have made up their minds. They won't be fooled again. This election will be a tough one for the KCR family. Their arrogance and their entitlement, it's all on display.